Oh, hey, Alan here, and I hope you enjoyed the view from my campsite. I'm here in Lava Hot Springs. This is Alan with RVAcrossAmerica.net, and the subject today, and forgive me, I'm going to put my glasses on, it's just too bright. The subject today is my Glacier Peak fifth wheel at 4 years old. In fact, as I look at the calendar date, it's 4 years old to the day as I'm recording this, and I'm making videos that are spanning this time that'll eventually put together in a post that'll be at rvacrossamerica.net/ my Glacier Peak at 4. All right. Once again, rvacrossamerica.net/ my Glacier Peak, that's GLACIER, Peak, PEAK, at 4, number 4. Okay, so you're going to see the outside, you're going to see the storage, you're going to see the inside, and the bottom line is, at 4 years old, I am more enamored with this camper, with this RV, with this fifth wheel trailer than I was the day I bought it. Not putting it any other way. It's amazing. It's an amazing machine. And while Outdoors RV, who makes the Glacier Peak, has changed some of their marketing, they're no longer making full profile fifth wheels. So for my clients in my RV concierge service who are looking to buy a fifth wheel, I'm not going to recommend the Glacier Peak unless you're part-time. If you're part-time, they're fine. If you're full-time, I have alternatives. But since they're not making a full profile fifth wheel, we have to make accommodations for that. But for everybody else, Outdoors RV, hear me clearly, is making one of, if not the best, trailers, travel trailer, toy hauler, travel trailer format, or fifth wheel on the market. Period, bar none. And I can defend that with facts. It's not opinion. When you see me walk around the camper and walk through the camper, I will remind you of some of the things that I put into my post way back when, in October of 2017, when I shared with you what I bought and why I bought it. And the factors that were important to me then are as important, if not more important, to me now. This winter, I plan to be near Pinedale, Wyoming. I will be in a very, very cold area. I have already arranged for a propane tank to be dropped off just outside of my camper. That's going to happen in a week or two. And I would not be caught without a camper of this quality, and there are not many. There really are not many. So without any more superlatives, I'm going to turn the video over to, well, myself, but it'll be a series of mini videos that I'm stitching together as I walk you around the outside, as I take you into my storage areas, and as I walk you through the inside and show you the things that, having lived in fifth wheels now for the better part of 10 years, and yes, I've also owned motorhomes. I owned motorhomes back around 2003, 4, and 5. For about three or 4 years, I had motorhomes. Think through 2006, so 3 to 6, 2003 to 2006. I have discovered the things and identified the things that matter, that separate the wheat from the chaff. So with that thought in mind, Alan here, RVAcrossAmerica.net / my Glacier Peak at 4. And we're going to move on to the sectional videos for seeing the outside, the storage, and the inside. Thank you, and you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever it is you're seeing this. Take care. Stay tuned. It's been 4 years, almost exactly 4 years to the day, that I've been living in this camper. That's full-time use in a camper, and no camper is really made for full-time use. This thing has held up incredibly well, and a lot of the things that impressed me about it when I first purchased it have proven to continue to impress me and continue to perform as I have put this camper through a lot of stress. Not the least of which is spending my winters in the mountains of Wyoming and Idaho, where temperatures regularly drop to -20 during the dead of winter for weeks on end. So it better be well insulated, it better have a heated underbelly, etc., etc. So let's take a look at how things are holding up. You can see just by looking at the outside, in a lot of ways, it still looks brand new. Probably use a cleaning, but beyond that, the decals are holding up. The fiberglass is holding up. It's looking beautiful. There's no delamination. Everything on the outside still functions. Nothing is broken. This is a well-made camper, and this is the Outdoors RV Glacier Peak. All the Outdoors RV products, in my view, are exceptional. And there are a few other companies that I recommend. Of course, for those who are working with me on my concierge RV service, I'll be glad to explain to you where these campers fit in and what other campers I'd recommend to you. But some of the things that impressed me then and impress me now include the fact that there are shocks on both axles. It's the CRE 3000 suspension system. The tires that you see here are the original tires. They're 4 years old. The tread is beginning to wear a little bit thin. I'm only going to drive a few hundred more miles before I park for the winter, and then these tires are going to say goodbye in the spring. So that's definitely something that's going to be happening. You'll notice down here is my sewer cap. What you see there is the only exposed plumbing in the entire camper. It's about 3 or 4 inches of the sewer plumbing that comes out. The rest of it is enclosed, and again, this camper is fully heated in the underbelly. It's phenomenal. What you see in the way of plumbing outside is propane. The propane lines being outside are an advantage, because that way when I park for the winter, right about there is where the propane guy will connect up a 120-gallon external tank. The furnace has held up exceptionally well. I've placed the bug covers on it. The hot water heater is holding up. A little bit of slight leakage, but it's holding up. What you see here is the slide walls, which are insulated, and the slide floor and the slide ceiling are insulated. They're holding up extremely well. The refrigerator I've had some issues with, and you'll see in my post that what the issues are with the refrigerator. But that's Norcold, and that's all Norcolds. The slide in the front here is doing well. I am starting to replace the caulking recaulk, and you can see the beautiful job that I've done here around the front of the camper. I'm being sarcastic. It's not a beautiful job. My mechanical abilities are limited, but it does do the job. The caulking is keeping water out, and that's all I ask of the caulking. I love the front storage system. It allows me to store extra things, since I've got an extra door there with a couple of shelves on the right hand side, and then you've got the main storage compartment. I do not have a permanent generator installed. I've got a little handheld generator. It's one of those little cheap Chinese generators. Again, on this side, it looks beautiful. Let me back up. The front cap is holding up. It's a little dirty. It definitely could use a bath. But other than that, this thing is holding up beautifully. I'm now on to my passenger side, my door side. Storage compartment has got everything going for it. There's been no damage to fenders. There's been no damage to the skirting around the camper. The windows have performed beautifully. They're the frameless windows. And we're going to go inside and take a look at some things that I believe are core to the building of a good camper. And of course, on the outside here, it starts with the 2-inch insulation all the way around. The roof actually is a new roof, but that's my fault. I drove under a low tree and did some damage to the existing roof, and they replaced it. Thank you to Progressive Insurance. That was a great thing. The awning is holding up, and I like the fact that the awning has the metal surround, which protects the material, so it's likely to last a little bit longer. This is the main storage area underneath my fifth wheel. And yes, you're looking at a folded up trike shoved in there. And it fits, and I managed to get it in and out regularly without any real hassles or problems. And I still have, I think it's 6 storage bins, 21-gallon storage bins behind it and over on the other side. This is pass-through storage. The Glacier Peak does not have any plumbing running through it. Many manufacturers have plumbing running through the storage area, and this one does not. You can see the battery cut off immediately to the right. You've got a table there, which frankly I've never removed. I have my skis stored up on the right-hand side here, including my new skis. So I got 2 pairs of downhills, 3 pairs of downhills, and a pair of cross-countries. The trike, recumbent trike, folded up, and on the left-hand side here is the fuse panel and also the converter. And then there's a couple other bins that I put inside. I'm going to take you over to the other side in a moment. This side is a little bit more narrow in order to accommodate the wet bay. The wet bay is fully enclosed and heated. You can see the plumbing there for the heating, the duct for the heating. You've got an outside shower and plenty of area for filling the gravity tank, which is, by the way, 82 gallons, which allows me to do plenty of dry camping. I've got my new generator now. It's a Champion generator, and I'll be telling you more about that very soon. That was an absolutely phenomenal purchase. I had it running a heater yesterday as I was burning it in. You're looking on this side, I've got my tool bags, I've got my solar panels, and I've got 2 21-gallon bins stacked with a little bit more room on top. And that's in front of or behind, however you want to look at it, 4 more bins and 2 milk crates. So plenty of space in here, including a 5-gallon bucket for this, that, and the other thing. Again, no plumbing from the manufacturer is interfering with my ability to store stuff in here, and it's incredible. It really is incredible. So that's the storage, and again, you can see it's a rubberized floor, and you can see how that's holding up. I mean, it's dirty, but that's me. That has held up extraordinarily well for 4 years now. There's no failure in the walls, there's nothing else, and this is the ground control system for electric landing gear and for auto level. Now we're at the front of the camper, and you'll notice that the storage from the front is different from most any other fifth wheel. You actually have 2 separate storage areas. The one on the left, which is loaded with stuff, and I'm being generous, could also be accommodating to a Onan generator. An Onan 4000 would be appropriate for this camper, or 5500, but I have elected to use it for stuff. I've got my tent, I've got my travel case, some other odds and ends, an old camera I can see there, and some other odds and ends. Notice that it folds up and folds down. So I have the ability to open the upper half and really jam stuff into the lower half. Now, on the right-hand side here, what's interesting is, and I'll come in closer, you can see there's a shelf there. So that shelf necessarily doubles the amount of storage I have, and it's deep. It allows you to get, I don't know, this is probably about 20 inches deep. It allows me to get a lot of stuff in here, and you can see how I'm using it. But again, this allows me to store the kinds of things that I need, because not only have I had this camper for 4 years, I've lived in it for 4 years. All right, moving along. Welcome to my home. You're in the interior of my Glacier Peak Outdoors RV camper. I've been living here for 4 years, and to be honest, it's holding up pretty well. You can see my furniture. There's no signs of any real wear on the sofa. The recliner has just a little bit of pleather peeling up behind the back of my head. I use that towel frequently just so I'm preserving it for as long as possible. I've got a couple of office chairs here and a custom
desk slash breakfast nook that I set up. And I'll show you around in a little bit more detail in just a moment. Storage here. Storage in here. And the kitchen area. So, since the focus of this is seeing things hold up, let's just start in the kitchen area. They're using Corian Countertops. A lot of companies do this. Again, this is 4 years of continuous use. This stuff looks brand new. By the way, this is a thermometer system that I use for my refrigerator. And I just went through another round of trying to resurrect the refrigerator. And it looks like it worked. It's 8 degrees right now in my freezer and 34.5 in my refrigerator. So I'm pretty happy with that. I have sufficient cooking area. I could extend it to create more here if I want to get rid of some of the extra appliances that I have sitting there, water filter and you know, hot water coffee pot type thing. I also have glass cover here, which could extend, and more Corian right here. Something to be aware of is that all the windows in here are dual pane. Dual pane windows hold up extraordinarily well and will give you that extra dose of insulation that you need. You can see what I've done here. Outdoors RV gave me 3 simple shelves. I turned them into sliders. And I love the fact that everything here is made of wood and that the wood is reinforced in a lot of places. This is a real wood valance for the shades. You'll notice I'm using a support here because one screw has come a little bit loose going up into the ceiling, and because I trust myself that little, I'm going to have a friend of mine come in here and put in a slightly larger screw and tighten things up. More storage down here. I keep my DVDs down there. I've got a little space heater for when I choose to heat the place using that strategy. The office chairs were courtesy of Wayfair. Wayfair does a great job. You can see that I've got drawers here on each side and more storage down below on each side. And this pulls out so that I've got a work area slash eating area. What you're looking at here is part of my cell signal boost system, and I'll be doing a video on that very soon, detailing for you just how well it works. It does work, so I'll be telling you a bit about that. The shades here are blackout shades, and one of the things that I'm going to do, because I'm in an area that will drop to -40, is I have some R-foil and I've got some bubble wrap. And the R-foil, of course, blacks out the view from the outside. That may go, for example, up here in the upper half of the big bay windows by my office. And also in the upper half of the big bay windows in the back of my rear living design here. And I leave the lower half just alone because, again, with double pane windows, you're good enough. In these smaller windows here, I'll be using bubble wrap. That way light can still get in. I can raise the shade and I can still have light. Behind every wall here, you have 2-inch thick insulation, and that includes up in the ceiling. And let me concentrate on that for a second. If you look at the ceiling here, and you know, I'm doing this kind of quick, there's no water damage. There's absolutely no water damage. By the way, it's also an arch ceiling, which is part of their heel truss roof design, which is used by Outdoors RV and Arctic Fox and just a few other companies, which again helps with this roof insulation. I've noticed in the winter, my camper is often the last one for the snow to melt off the roof, which tells me there's the least amount of loss happening inside my camper of heat. So that's a pretty cool thing. As we work our way, and again, remember, this is 4 years old. I mean, if you're seeing some small areas of wear and tear, yeah, they're going to be. But it's holding up real well. These steps I probably need to recondition the wood, but that wouldn't be a big deal to do a real fine sand job and then stain it. As I go up into the bedroom, you can see I've got my air filter here, which I use periodically. I've got my My Pillow Giza sheets on the bed, and yes, Mike Lindell makes a great product, and yes, I do use a nighttime, I guess you call it a vaporizer or whatever they call those things, that puts out essential oils, and my melatonin on the far side, so I get a good night's sleep. The storage, the way they've designed this bedroom is exceptional. You've got full width storage. This is why when people contact me in my concierge business to help them get a camper, if they're going to stay in a fifth wheel and if they're going to full time, it's important that the bed be east-west, meaning it's not in parallel with the camper. The head of the bed is in the slide out. That's the slide out here. And the slide outs are all working extremely well. And again, you can see the ceiling. Everything is held up well. I've got a pillow in there made by Camco, which insulates the vent. I've got another one on order for the bathroom behind me, because this is probably the coldest place I'm going to ever stay in, being up in Pinedale. When you look at the east-west bed, that allows the full front cap to be a full-width closet. And in some campers, there are washer-dryer hookups. This one did not come with them, and I don't miss them. I only do laundry once a week or so, and, it's not that big a deal. And I'm using part of my storage for extra food, for extra supplements. I've got practically a full pharmacy in here. This particular bedroom design gave me 2 additional closet areas. So if I open this up, and again, I love the cabinetry here. And I'm going to show you one more thing when we go back into the living area. You've got to see this to believe it. So you've got storage above, storage below. In the bathroom, there's storage above, below. Of course, the shower, the commode. And the countertop is, the bathroom vanity has a stainless steel sink, which I love, and the Corian. And again, it holds up along with the medicine cabinet. And again, just look at how things are holding up over this time. Let's take a walk back into the living area. And in the living area, I want to point something out here. And this is, again, where you get to 4 years of age in a camper. These are my cabinets above. Let me back up a little bit. This is the sofa. All right. So if we go to these cabinets, I want you to see, it's a little bit of a mess, but a lot of books. And the other one's filled with books too. And if I go around here, these are filled with books. There's no sag. These cabinets are holding up. Why? Because a quality company drives the cabinet itself into the frame of the camper, the aluminum frame, and backs that frame with wood. So you're screwing wood into wood, which increases the probability that the cabinets are not going to rattle free on you. Believe me, there are a lot of campers out there where people drive down a pitted gravel road that's washboarded, and they get to their campsite, and they've got a disaster on their hands. So just 1 or 2 last things that I looked at when I was looking for a camper. And again, this was originally a dinette and 4 chairs, and it just didn't work for me. This works a lot more effectively. The cabinet area here that I'm pointing at, that's where the cabinets pull, the drawers pull out. And when Outdoors RV built the drawers below, talk about full width. You know, they're 100-pound rails. They're well designed. There are 3 of them. That gives me plenty of storage. The same thing is true down here below the oven, and down here below my newly functional refrigerator. Again, this is the Norcold 1210. You'll see posts of mine being extraordinarily critical of Norcold and of this refrigerator. I did recondition it in June, and I'm doing it again now at the end of October. So, you know, if it takes every 4 months for me to keep this thing working, I guess I can live with it. But we're also going to have a post coming up soon about 12-volt compressor units. So we'll talk about that. Anyway, this is Alan. This has been the interior. You saw the exterior before. I'm also going to do another video soon on preparation for winter, because I'm in the middle of it here. Well, I'm in the final stages. The only thing left is the R-foil and the bubble wrap. The outside skirting has been done. I've identified a hose that I want to get, try and negotiate a deal with the manufacturer on that, and you know, we'll see where things go. And again, this cable here is all part of the cell phone boost system, signal boost system. And yes, there are definitely cleaner ways of doing this, but again, it's for me, and I don't mind having a cable laying around back there. It's running on the perimeter of my desk work area, and it works its way over to the rest of the equipment that's part of that system. So I will detail that for you when the time comes. That time is coming very soon, but the time at the moment was to show you the inside of this thing and how it is holding up over a 4-year period. So I thank you for your attention, and you know, if you're in the market for a camper and you do see value in my services, give me a call. You'll see the post at rvcrossamerica.net/buy-sell. This post is at, I believe it's rvcrossamerica.net/Glacier Peak at 4, but I've got to double check and see what I said on the previous segments of video, because I do this over several days. I'm making this now actually on the last day of October, otherwise known as Halloween, and I'll have this post up in early November. And my camper actually turned 4, I guess it was technically about a week or two ago, because I believe I picked it up somewhere around the 17th of October in 2017. So, you're looking at a 4-year-old camper that's been lived in full time, and you can be the judge on how well it's been constructed to see how well it's holding up. No water damage, no soft spots. The floor is as solid as it was the day I bought it. Everything is functional, everything works. And as you'll see in my post that there have been issues. And again, check up on the splash on the video to see what the actual website address is that I'm using for you to see the full post. All right, Alan here, rvcrossamerica.net. Thank you very much, and we'll continue our ongoing discussion. Thank you. Bye-bye.